Hello, I want to talk about fear today. Um, I'm going to be doing a podcast hopefully soon with the Utopian Psychology Institute, I think. Just trying to remember the name. One second. The Utopian Psychology Project. Sorry, just have to look it up. So I'm just going to dive into this intuitively and just quickly and talk about my own fears and I don't know, well, basically what fears I've dealt with in my own life. I'm an artist, I'm a painter, I'm do a bit of all sorts really, painting, music making, poetry writing, coding, uh, reading obviously. It's not really creative arts, but I suppose it is. I don't know what else. Game making, basically anything under the sun to do with creative expression, creative work. Um, but obviously, like fear comes into that work, but also my own life as well. So, what do I? What I'm just I'm gonna regress a bit and just think about when I was a child. I had the classic fear of monster in the closet or monsters under the bed. Obviously, I think many children have that classic fear of the dark, basically. So I used to was very afraid of the dark. I used to uh, imagine that monsters were in the dark, um, which I suppose was probably my mind just projecting my own fear into, or fear itself really, into the unknown. Because that's really what the fear of the dark is. It's just fear of the unknown because we can't see anything. Now, obviously, as I've got older, I'm not afraid of the dark anymore. In fact, I actually really like the dark. I like going out for a walk in the dark. I yeah, I like going for being out in the dark. I'm a night owl as well, so it's actually my natural time of night is my natural time when I'm most awake is like now. It's like 1 in the morning. I'm more awake now. And this actually causes conflict with people sometimes because not many people like to be up late this late at night, and it annoys people that I live with, which is another annoying thing actually, to be honest. Like, so I'm not easy to live with because I like to be up late doing my creative work. Really, sometimes I'll be up for 2 days just doing it non-stop. Not many people can work at that sort of level. It can be a bit lonely sometimes for sure. What the fuck is that? Ugh, that's very fearful, bizarre. It's just looking at a piece of art. YouTube thing. It's funny actually. Like I just saw something that looks a bit warped. It's got that uncanny valley feeling. The whole uncanny valley thing just, um, which is when you look at an image and it makes you feel a certain sort of revulsion. Um, I like playing with that a bit sometimes, like that sort of feeling of shock. I like shocking quite a lot. I like art. I'm definitely a person who likes to push the boundaries in terms of image making and distortion. Uh, Again, like I said, basically, I think one of our responsibilities as an artist is to shock people. It doesn't mean you have to shock for the sake of it. You have to shock with meaning. You have to shock with a purpose, I think. There's no point just shocking for the sake of it. Like, I don't know. Say if I wanted to shock people just for the sake of it, I don't know. Like, you could paint a picture of Stalin or Hitler or Mao or whatever, and just say, "Look at these people, they're great," or something, and just have the text written on it. Great leaders, or I love these people, or I don't know, something like Hitler did nothing wrong, which is ridiculous, of course. and I would just be shocked for the sake of it, right? Because you're just, I mean, it's just provocative nonsense. It's just stupid. Obviously, this is funny as well because it's like showing my own aesthetic taste in art. Like I'm revealing my aesthetic taste in art, which is generally speaking, I like anything powerful, strong, mixture of geometric, mixture of expressionist, anything powerful, anything that comes from the gut, anything that's just got, anything that's just powerful. I've looked back through the history of art, and art is anything that really gives me solace in a lot of ways. I am obsessed with it, and that's fine. Ugh. Anyway, fears. I was just having a cigarette outside, and that's when I had a psychedelic psychedelic experience a while ago. And I remember I saw a spider. It was just crawling in a. I don't know. Insects don't really cause me fear, but certain insects will make me feel icky. Spiders not so much, unless obviously it's a black widow or something. That's a spider you want to be afraid of. It's literally death. But insect. I remember I was in Russia. There were some really weird insects I came across there when I was teaching. Like just really quite large insects. Also, Russian kids are so hardcore. There was one time when literally this huge. I was really afraid actually when I was in Russia of they got these huge bloody hornets there in the because I was staying in a wood. One of my main fears when I was there in teaching in Russia was hornets. I had a fear of wasps, and I just kill them basically. So like when there was one time I was living in London, this huge fucking hornet was in my room, and yeah, that scared the shit out of me obviously because it's a huge fucking hornet and it can sting you, and it's quite a serious sting that. So I just grabbed a heavy book and just threw it. I actually hit it, which is amazing. But yeah, I got this huge book, threw it at this wasp, and I got it actually. Somehow managed to get it. Completely splattered it and killed it. I don't have any qualms with killing insects. I mean, they don't really have a higher brain, so it doesn't. I'm not bothered really about killing insects. There probably is some people in the world who think that's bad, but I mean, you're ridiculous if that's the case. I mean, sorry for this. I don't know. I'm not going to say snowflakes, but sorry for people who are overly sensitive. But sometimes you have to kill a hornet or whatever, or a wasp. But kill wasps quite happily. Bees no, but wasps yes. Obviously, violence is a fear in the human mind because violence is horrible. Getting hurt is not pleasant. Pain is unpleasant for a reason. Yeah, what else? One of the childhood fears was definitely bees and wasps and stuff. So it just did basic stuff in it, really. Sometimes if I've not slept enough, I'll be afraid of my own shadow. Sometimes, or my own reflection. I'm not afraid of it, but it'll freak me out a bit, which is quite odd, but that is the truth. Like even looking at this camera now, I don't know. I'm not afraid of my own face, but I'm just like, where do I need to focus? Do I need to look here, into the camera directly, or do I just need to look straight forward? What do I need to do? So that's like, probably, it's a certain self-consciousness, right, where I in this case, obviously, but I'm talking to you, the audience, are just being self-conscious. I'm a neurotic in many ways. I'm just neurotic. I've experienced severe mental health and everything, but it's more of I don't know. I have a tendency to overthink. Anyway, it's probably enough talking about my fears. I've been afraid of women, actually, to be honest. Yeah, I was very shy, so I've been very shy. I'm not as shy now. and I don't avoid women. Like I try and get involved with women as much as I can, but I'm very nervous around women. Um, Not for any particular reason. I'm just a very shy boy, basically a shy man. Sorry, I'm a boy. I'm a man now. But yeah, I've always been shy. I had a girlfriend first when I was, I don't know, 5 or 6. Amelia, from what I remember. She was like my first girlfriend when I was 6, and I'm just regressing a bit now, trying to. What I remember from just remember I just enjoyed spending time with her. I can't remember if we kissed, obviously, because I was 6. I can't recall back that far. You probably did, kissing on the lips or kissing on the cheeks. It's hard when you try and regress to remember everything. Used to go around the house, watch films, watch some French cartoon. I don't know. Anyway, let's dive down into the root of that fear. So obviously the fear of women comes from women are often wise at the right time, I think, basically. So men in general can be wise, but we're also scatterbrained. We can only concentrate so much. We're more just focused on the now, whereas women are, I think, more emotional in a lot of respects. So they're more guided by their emotions, and they're more, they are more directly. I don't know. They're more women in general. Actually, let me just get into this on a scientific level. Women generally have more linguistic intelligence, so higher linguistic intelligence than men. Men, we can't read between the lines. I'm true in this respect. I'm a complete, when I've been in an office environment, sometimes a woman has said something. I'm like, what do you mean? What are you on about? Just in my mind, like I'm just thinking that. Like one of my first jobs I had was just working at a temp job, and there was this like social ostracizing that was going on between one of the women that worked there and another. Well, they were both friends actually. They were right, but there was a tension between the two managers and the two workers who were just cool women. Like, they're nice. They were right. Like I used to talk to them a fair bit. It was like the first job after I got just been ill for a while. Just at post uni. Anyway, so basically, I was just working this job. It was annoying. It's like a database job. It's boring, but whatever. But I just did it. Just turned up, did it, did my whatever I needed to do, and got out of there and found it hellish and annoying and hell. But I think women are more generally like they can be bitches, and by this I mean this is where they become scheming and they form plans against each other, and it's mostly against other women. It's not really, unless you've got a really seriously, stay away from the crazy men, gentlemen. The crazy men, the crazy women. Stay away from crazy men as well. Both of them are bad. Stay away from like the bad side of crazy in general. I'd say. What am I saying? So, yeah, bunny boilers. You know what I mean. I also like abusive men. Obviously, stay away from them. But yeah, what am I saying? I think like I said, the women have a much more higher aptitude of linguistic knowledge and reading subtext. I think for men, probably with us, it's just more physical how we get out our emotions. Physical work helps us. That really helps ground us. Like if we need to, if we don't release our emotion in one way or the other, tears, like really, really crying for a man doesn't come that often. Not loads anyway. Depends what state of mind you're in. But I think for myself, in terms of actually having tears that really move me, that actually like clear my system out, it doesn't happen very often. You're talking once every 6 years probably. in terms of like really hard ones, um, I have a occasional lonely cry in my room or whatever. But it's just like it lasts about a second, and I'm just not a second, but it lasts about I don't know, 30 seconds, and then I'm just like, I'm out of it. I snap out of it straight away immediately after that, and I'm back in the nothing box. Yeah, I'm not afraid of crying, obviously, but I mean, it's just a thing that happens. But weeping, like just there is a limit, and other men will respect you less if you are just like crying over everything. And this is a feature of the part of the development of masculinity, right? You have to you have to be at least like pain, for example. Like if someone came and punched me in the arm, now I'm not going to cry about it. I wouldn't like it. I'd be like, depending on the strength of the punch, but be like, why have you done that? Why did you do that? And if someone carries on doing it, then I'll return their violence. Um, but men have that language. That's the language of men. So it's like it's more competitive and um, like if violence, there is a line with men that you can't cross really, but it's all subconscious in a sense. Men have just the hidden language, which is mutual respect, working together, not in a competitive way necessarily, depending on the group, but yeah. So let's talk about my fears in relation to men. So I'm just going to do this without thinking. So if I was to picture the sort of man I'd be afraid of, it would be an envious, scheming man, I think. So I think I am afraid, if I'm afraid of any man, it is a man who's not honest. The most dangerous man of all. So obviously, we all tell a white lie now and again. That's just, part of being a human being. But there are, and I'm thinking probably I'm hearing pretty much in terms of sociopathic minds who are active manipulators. So sociopaths will just are like puppet masters, really, in a way. They will play people against each other and tell just black lies to people in order to sow discord and chaos. That's the most dangerous man. I think probably Hitler was probably a sociopath. Actually, I imagine. Like I think in terms of psychology would have been, instead of, yeah, okay, he had a hard experience in the war. I get that. His mother died. I get that. I mean, I didn't get it like emotionally, but I get that must be difficult. But then to start, feeding that hatred that he'd developed during the war, and then just blame it all on Jews, the scapegoat. It's just. I think as a person, you have to pay very attention to anything that makes you uncomfortable, anything that annoys you, right, or anything that causes fear. I'm not going to be cliche to say the only fear to fear is fear itself, but there is wisdom in that. Like you have to face your fears. I think for me, I fear how much I think I feel a failure sometimes. I feel like I've failed. I'm not very good at managing my finances, so I fear money management, definitely, accounting, this sort of thing. I fear that I'm afraid of being alone, actually. Like I came out of a relationship about, this is pathetic obviously, but I came out of a relationship about 2 years ago. Dating's not really happening that much. I don't know what women really want anymore. Obviously all women are different, so it's not just one thing, but I don't know, that sort of just like, look, I'm a painter, I live in a studio, I make paintings. I haven't got much money, but I'll I can do what I can do. I can do computer work and everything else. But I don't know. Like women are human beings at the end of the day. But um, that I'm afraid definitely of going into my mid 40s at least being single and not being alone. Basically, I don't think I'd want to. I don't want to be going into my 40s on my own. I need sex. Like I need. Everyone has a desire for sex. I want sex. Obviously, you can't take that desire away. It's impossible. Um, you know, we all. It's just like it's vital as breathing, right? So, um, yeah, like I want to obviously fuck. I mean, that's just part of life. You know, not like meaninglessly, but just not even fuck. I want to. I don't know. It's just like I've been fucking around a bit, like for the last year, just like had like three different relationships. Just keep on going around these girls, women's houses, and fucking. But so I guess I'm afraid of being a fuck boy as well, which I know that modern term. Which I dislike actually. It's just a stupid term, really. I think in some respects, but it's a ridiculous term. I think in a lot of ways. Uh, I don't know. I can't remember what it is. It's just basically just saying that a man who's not got any money, like everything relies on financial, money. Oh, it would give me this, and that's always like a cliche of. It's like a stereotypical view of female psychology that they need a provider. Uh, they need a man to provide everything for them. Which, when you have kids, is probably true on some level, but it becomes more true. Um, anyway, that's probably enough talking about my fears. I've covered a lot there. Interested what anybody else thinks of that. And I'd add your own fears below. What are your fears? Philosophically, scientifically, ethically, whatever. Like artistically, as a person, as an individual, whatever. Like anything. This concludes my self therapy for the day.